Hello guys, so we are back. It's not really going to be so much of a video, but it's going to be more of like a update kind of thing. If you don't know who I am the one that has the M3 GTR thing that's supposed to be like a Need for Speed rep. Obviously, I'm going to start out with the kit, so you obviously know that the kit isn't right. The front bumpers, too different. The rear bumper is too high. The side skirts don't have the step. Little things like that. I'm gonna go over the kit right now. As I said before, the guy is Waker who's doing it. I'll put his Instagram. Please go check him out. He posts all this stuff. Go follow him. Tell him you're from the channel. Do it. Seriously, do it. If you don't know, my Instagram is m3babe_. I post there almost daily, so you could see pictures of the car and stuff like that, and updates. I post there a lot more than I do on YouTube. As I showed you last time, he cut apart the bumper because he looked at the grill and he thought, hey, it should be an inch more in diameter. Because once again, that's what I love about him. All he does is like look at it and analyze things and just think little details. So like I showed you last time, he was kind of putting it back together, but now it's like fully together. He just needs to Bondo over the cracks and the little blemishes, and then once that's all smooth, he can pull a mold of it. He kind of began on the fender now. The fender is basically, most of it is already basically done. It just needs to be bondoed and sanded. So the front fender actually, as you can see on the bottom, it's a box. It's more of a box. And he even made a thing where he shows that the original one didn't have a box. It was a lot more rounded than what he made. So he actually cut off the corner and he remade that corner into more of a thing. Once again, just showing you guys how much he actually cares about little details like that. So definitely we'll be getting the front bumper and the front fenders pretty soon then, quite honestly, because he does this every weekend. And he puts in the most work on the weekends, like yesterday and today. Today is a Sunday. With my kit, I'm still, the next video is definitely going to be just taking off the rest of the kit. I'm just trying to make arrangements with the buyer on when to take it, since I do have work schedule and I get like random days off. I was going to buy maybe like headers and do that as a video, but I might not do that for now. Reason being, I'm just trying to really save my money because I really don't make much money at all. I have begun to make something from YouTube. I guess to normal people it's a good amount of money, but when you're building this car, it's really still not really that much, but it still helps, and I appreciate everyone for helping me grow. So my next thing would be the engine. Let's just talk about engines. So the P60 B40, that is the serial number code or model code or whatever of the actual GTR V8. That was the 4-liter V8 found in a GTR. It's a flat plane crank. It's a dual overhead cam engine. So just want to explain to you guys that engine, it was actually obviously a race engine made 445 to 470 horsepower. Racing usually has restrictions on intake diameters and stuff like that, little things if you don't know. The race engines, they're made to only work for about 3,000 miles, give or take. Like literally for like a race or two. That's all they're made to run for before you take it apart and completely rebuild it. Because they're very high tolerance, and I'm not going to go too in depth because I don't want to confuse some of you that don't understand the actual internals of an engine. But there's clearances such as between piston walls and the pistons with how the rings seat and how high of a tolerance that is. I'm trying to get you to understand that you can't run race engines on a car that you want to put a key in and start every single day and drive every single day. You just can't. So I looked on eBay just for pictures and just for kind of like price, examples and stuff like that, price models. I'm just going to start off by showing you first the actual S65. That is what a lot of you recommended. S65 is the V8 engine, a 4-liter V8. It's very similar to the P60. It's not the same engine. It's not made out of the same block, but it is the same structure. But this engine, the one that we're looking at, $6,000, 68,000 original miles. You can get this engine for cheaper. You can get this engine for way more at the same time. People sell different things for different amounts. You can find a crashed M3 maybe that's really bad and doesn't have many parts in it for maybe $3 or $4 grand and buy the engine. I doubt that would happen. I'm not trying to buy a car and take it apart. I don't have the space or time. Not so much the time, just the space of putting a crashed car somewhere. I don't think Dan wants a crashed car laying in his backyard for me to fool around on, which totally do not blame him. Makes 400 horsepower, that engine. So let's just compare this to my engine. My engine makes 330, that makes 400 horsepower. it's really not a big difference, and it's a lot of money to be spending just to upgrade to that engine that makes just a little bit more horsepower. And I know the sound is a V8, but with someone like me that has the job I have, I really don't make money, so I'm just trying to show you guys as an example of like how much these things cost and stuff like that. And so this now brings me over to the V10. This V10 that I'm showing you is 100,000 original miles. That's pretty high mileage, but this is the V10 engine out of an M5. It makes 500 horsepower NA. It's a pretty good horsepower that's reliable once you do that rod bearing, and it's pretty good. And this is honestly what I would love to, like, if money was not a limit, besides the whole race engine thing, I would definitely put this V10 in it, just because it's a V10. It literally sounds like a Lamborghini straight pipe. It's insane how it sounds. Once again, that is a $7,500 engine with that trans, and that's actually pretty cheap. I've seen these things for like $9,000 and stuff working. So next, like I said, when I said $6,000 for that S65 V8, Dan's like, wow, that's pretty stupid. That's what you can get an LS3 for. LS3 is something found in the new 2010 Camaro SS's and the Corvette 2008 Corvettes and up. So this is what Cross would have had under his hood in his Corvette. This is an LS3, 6.2 liter, 430 horsepower. 430 horsepower. And just before we go any further, this is a brand new engine. This is an engine that's never been in a car for $6,200, 0 mileage. Like, I could put this in my car for the same price as that BMW V8, make a little bit more power, and still make power for the next 150,000 miles, and it'll be reliable and won't blow up. And I put like another 1,000 or 2,000 into this engine, doing cams, injectors, bolt-ons, and a tune, and it'll easily make 500 wheel horsepower. So the next thing we're going to go with is the wheels. And these are the wheels that are found on the race car. And just so we're aware, they are center lock wheels. And what center lock is, it's an actual hub, just a giant wheel nut in the middle, which is pretty awesome and stuff like that. And you need to buy like a wrench or a torque wrench that's like $300 or $400 or something like that to use. I am considering going center lock. I'm not so much opposed to going center lock. It's the fact that actual center lock, the ones on the GTR, you can't really buy those wheels. I mean, somebody did have them up for sale. They're like about $7,000 to $9,000. That is absolutely insane for wheels. So I can't really get those wheels. There were another wheel actually though that many people pointed out, and I want you guys to understand. They're called Sparco NS06. Or Sparco Cheetahs, and they look very much like the real wheel. But the thing is, first of all, they're discontinued, so that's the first downside. They're discontinued. That's not a good thing. The thing is, even if looking at the wheel specs that I'm going to need, I'm going to be running 18 by 11 negative 50. So let me explain to you what that means. 18 is the diameter of the wheel. I'm sure everyone knows what that is. I'm on 19 wheels right now. I'm going down to 18s to look better. And 11 wide is the width of the wheel, obviously. From the inside bead to the other inside bead, 11 inches. That's exactly what I have right now, 19 by 11. I'm going to 18 by 11. But the offset is what a lot of you don't understand. A lot of people are like, oh, in that time-lapse video, why did you take off the OEM wheels that looked almost pretty similar to the race car wheels? Which I agree, they do kind of look similar. But you guys have to realize that those wheels are already sunk in on my car when it was stock. So when I put a wide body on it, it's going to be even more sunk in, and it's not going to be flush, and it's going to look very stupid. Before you say spacers or something like that, because I know a lot of YouTube builders I've seen use really big spacers, to make it flush. I'm not going to use spacers. I already have spacers on my car that are kind of tiny, They're like 10 mil, 15 mil, but I don't want to use them. I'm just using them to clear my suspension. I do not want to use spacers. It's not the proper wheel to fit, not the proper way to fit wheels, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of other people's opinions. I get it. It's the lazy way nowadays to put on wheels and make them fit and stuff and get fitment. You know, buy wheels, get really big spacers, boom, you got wide wheels, or the wide look of wheels. So I was looking into BMW race cars and what they actually use for their wheels sometimes, besides that one that we know from the GTR. And the BBS E88 is a really nice wheel that looks pretty good in my opinion. And, you know, a lot of Porsches and a lot of BMWs use that wheel. And the thing is, I could get that wheel in a very, very wide spec, because there would be 3 pieces and have them built in a very, very wide spec, which would be pretty awesome. And they're also center lock, so we would have that center lock image kind of thing to go with it. So anyways, that's probably going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I didn't want this to come out in like a mean way. I just wanted to explain to people. I understand that, you know, some of you people, I was going to say a good amount, but some of you people don't know what it's like to work on cars. You know, you've only played video games, and I understand video games don't really explain cars too well. They just explain these like words, but you don't know how anything, you know, works besides that. I get it. In Need for Speed, when you put on wheels, they automatically make it flush. So I didn't even know that as a kid. I was like, the hell is offset? I don't understand that. But obviously, you know, I've had like 6, 7 cars now, and I've done wheel fitments a lot before, so I kind of know what I'm doing in that sense. But I'd rather at least teach you guys, because I'd rather you guys learn about this, so you can, you know, maybe in the future do this on your own or figure this out on your own. So I'd rather teach you guys about engines and all that stuff, and what's real and what isn't, because a lot of people think everything from video games is real, but it's really not, you know. But either way, if you guys want to support me, just saying, you know, I'm going to put a link in the description, and that's going to be the posters that I have of the N3 GTR, the version 1, before I took it apart. So if you could support me, I made them $20. It's pretty cheap, honestly. I've seen people most people post their merch and posters for like $30 or more. Mine is fairly cheap, and I made it because I'm not really trying to get rich, but it's more of a thing to give back to you guys. As well as my Instagram, m3babe_, if you want to follow the build or support me or just look at it. And then another thing is Twitch. I made a Twitch. If you guys are interested in Twitch, I want a way for me and Dan to play and be able to like talk to some of the people, and me talk to some of the people. You know, if you guys want to ask about the build, the car, what cars I like, what things I like, whatever it is, we can talk. You know, I want to be able to play video games, and you watch me fail in Fortnite and GTA 5 and GTA 4, whatever, you know, I play everything. So Overwatch, be cool to talk to you guys. So just follow me on Twitch. All the links are in the description below. My Instagram, my Snapchat, my place where the posters are for sale, and my Twitch link. So if you guys could help out, that would mean the world. Hopefully new videos coming soon. Kind of at like a dead end thing right now. For now, I know the car will look great. And just saying, if you guys are in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, I am planning on unveiling the build at like AutoCon New York, which if you guys watch TJ's channel, he did AutoCon Los Angeles or whatever it was. He is going to be at New York. I don't know him. Obviously, I don't know him personally or anything. But I'm just saying, if you guys know TJ, you'll know what AutoCon New York is, or AutoCon in general. And if not AutoCon, that's AutoCon New York is June 8th, I believe, or the beginning of June, or the beginning of July, maybe. It's the beginning of July, I'm sorry. Tuner Evo Philadelphia is what I will be unveiling at. That 100%, that's July 28th. I'm hoping to do it by one of those two, and then hopefully go to SEMA later in the year if I can find anyone. But those are the plans for this build, and I hope you guys support me and the build and everything like that. So thanks for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, share the video, tell your friends what I'm doing in my car, whatever.